Hi everyone, welcome to Alternavita. I thought I would just come on and give you an update of where everything is heading and where everything stands on Alternavita as of today. Um, I have managed, in case you didn't get the gist of the last video, I have exhausted every avenue at clearing my scarlet letter from Google page one and my false, I believe, false accusations from the FDA and the FTC, and um, they essentially did not have a case on any substance. So what they did was they made some false associations and implications, and then attacked me on those false associations. I wrote a post. I just happened to put the word COVID-19 in the post and then went on to explain how an average person could protect themselves, whether it was from the flu or a cold or any immune threat throughout the winter time, which is a precarious time simply because of weather changes. And there was just general health advice on how to protect yourself in the wintertime. And then I made a comment about clean air and clean water and using an ozonator to achieve that. And there was no link to Amazon to an ozonator, I don't believe. I'm almost 100% certain because I wouldn't be selling ozonators. I wouldn't care to make any money off an ozonator sale. So I don't believe there was a link there. I'm almost 100% certain there was no link there. And I just took the information from the manufacturer's website. And so then they didn't like it and they made some false associations and then used those to imply that I was saying something I wasn't saying at all. So that's not how one should be conducting themselves. But nevertheless, I decided that there's no point in fighting City Hall since it's been 5 years and I'm still amazed. I'm on Google page one. I'm still amazed that they even managed to find my site because no one else on the planet seems to have. But yeah, I would personally like to know the underlying reason why I was singled out because I'm 100% sure as well I was not the only one. And so that's that. And that's soon going to be history because I decided it's just not worth it to keep the name Alternavita and alternavita.com. So I will be changing the name of my YouTube channel, which I can do. And I will be creating a new website. I don't have a name yet, but I'll be doing that. And I'll be changing the way I engage with the public. So I did manage to close my account on Amazon, and I am allowed to open a new affiliate account. And I just can't open it. I just can't place it anywhere on Alternavita because my review got rejected. So that's where it is. But I thought today I would just go over the basic info of what my entire mission is about. And remembering that um, my mission is 80-20 rule. And I'll see if I can find it here real quick to read it for you. But that is, just a second, I'm scrolling here. And that was always my mission. That will continue to be my mission. Okay, mission statement, 80% safety. Generally regarded as safe and well tolerated in the majority when used as directed. Now, this would not include people who have something like galactosemia. 80% efficacy, the medical threshold for certainty and the gold standard of care. 80% ease of use and compliance. Can the majority reasonably achieve this? And 80% accessibility cost. Can the majority reasonably access this? And finally, highly effective cross-condition and proponent of the scientific method and open source science as both were the method and the mission employed, which achieved the greatest advances to mankind throughout history. So, okay, that is my mission, and the only thing I have added is metabolic syndrome, because that is a separate condition that existed before the days of not breastfeeding. But I'll get to that in a moment. So, critical info, all you need to know in a nutshell, by focusing exclusively on these foundational health and immune development issues, up to 90% of chronic conditions can be alleviated. So the WHO statements from 2017, which confirmed everything many people have been saying for many years. Their 2017 Millennium goal, breastfeeding, food security, and water security are major protective factors. And they don't use the word major lightly in any form of medical literature. When they say major, they mean major. Are major protective factors against malnutrition and critical factors in the maturation of the healthy gut microbiota, characterized by a transient bifidobacterial bloom before a global rise in anaerobes. Early depletion in gut Bifidobacterium longum, a typical maternal probiotic, meaning you get it through breastfeeding, known to inhibit pathogens, represents the first step in gut microbiota alteration associated with severe acute malnutrition. And this is chronic malnutrition. Later, the absence of the healthy, mature anaerobic gut microbiota leads to deficient energy harvest, vitamin biosynthesis, and immune protection, and is associated with diarrhea, malabsorption, and systemic invasion by microbial pathogens. A therapeutic diet and infection treatment may be unable to restore bifido and HMAGM. And it actually cannot restore that because of a very important principle. You can't give what you don't have. So, what does this mean? It means that a child's microbiome is to develop the way a mammal's microbiome is to develop, the way it has always developed. And when a child does not receive that development, Things happen, usually can begin in childhood, can begin in puberty, can begin in early adulthood, most certainly begins in adulthood with various chronic conditions because the body can no longer maintain homeostasis. So, what does this mean again? It leads to deficient energy harvest. It means you cannot get the energy that you need from food. Vitamin biosynthesis, it means you cannot convert and synthesize vitamins to their proper form so that you can utilize them. And finally, immune protection. So it's a very, very, very serious thing. So researchers, the father of the microbiota, found that malnourished children's microbiota failed to follow the healthy pattern they identified in healthy children. By healthy children, they mean breastfed children. The microbiota of malnourished children is immature, lagging behind in development behind that of their healthy peers. Supplementing these children's meals with widely used therapeutic foods that increase calories and nutrient density reduces death from malnutrition, but it does not fix their persistent microbiota immaturity. And perhaps more insidious than slowing growth is malnutrition's effect on less visible aspects of health, including impaired brain development and dysfunctional immunity, which follow these children throughout their lives. Okay, SIBO. Did you know that SIBO can begin in infancy? Yes, it can. And I had found this in it. Originally, I found it in a patent regarding SIBO and bifido. And in the patent, they stated that non-breastfed children were prone to developing SIBO. And today we know that the most associated bacteria relating to SIBO are E. coli. But at any rate, SIBO can cause severe malabsorption, serious malnutrition, and immune deficiency syndromes in children and adults. The prognosis is usually serious, determined mostly by the underlying disease that led to SIBO. So there's SIBO. Immunizations. Did you know that the WHO has repeatedly recommended that all treatments be oral? The WHO recommends that immunization or treatment be orally administered due to economic, logistical, and security reasons. Furthermore, this route offers important advantages over systemic administration, such as reducing side effects, as the molecules administered locally and have the ability to stimulate gut and lymphatic, gut and lymphatic tissue immune responses. And this was repeated over and over and replicated since at least 1998, 2006, and 2011. Infections. Did you know that all infections begin with immune deficiency? For any infectious or parasitic disease to start, it is always a requisite that the host suffer immunodeficiency. At the same time, infectious and parasitic diseases themselves cause additional immune suppression and more malnutrition. The immune suppression is secondary to the accumulation of free radicals, especially oxidizing species, that occurs during and after infectious and parasitic diseases. So autophagy is very important, and that is something else this site focuses on, is autophagy. Did current IBD research, 2016, Did you know that systemic drugs greatly increase chances of malignancy? Currently available treatments, they were specifically talking about IBD, but it translates, as I just read, to any treatment not orally administered, which target the systemic immune system, and that is your bloodstream, induce immunosuppression, thereby exposing the patient to the risk of infections and malignancy. The interplay between the gut and the systemic immune system determines the final effect on target organs, including the bowel mucosa, and is associated with an altered systemic immune response, leading to inflammation-mediated damage to the gut and other organs. And most importantly, they do not achieve remission. So you can read all about that. It's called I do not have the other source there, but it's probably in my library. But anyway, that was a paper. Oh my, what was it called? Now it's going to bother me. No, I'll just find it later. Oh, I forget what it's called. It has a name. It's in my book. Okay, so tolerance. Tolerance is the ability of the immune system to see and respond appropriately. Without galactose, a necessary sugar the immune system cannot see. Your immune system would not be able to function without galactose. Your body wouldn't know which cells are good and which cells are bad. Your body wouldn't know who invaders were and which ones should be attacked by antibodies. As you will learn, the importance of these sugars in the gut microbiota health is a rapidly expanding field of research, including HMOs, human milk oligosaccharides. So why galactose? Milk sugar, also known as lactose, has been shown to be very beneficial for the human body, though unlike sucrose, lactose is made up of glucose and galactose. There is no fructose in galactose. It's a healthy disaccharide sugar. Galactose is known as the brain sugar and supports brain development of babies and children. Galactose helps trigger long-term memory formation. Galactose has been shown to inhibit tumor growth and stop its spread, particularly to the liver. This beneficial sugar can also enhance wound healing, decrease inflammation, enhances cellular communication, and increases calcium absorption. So what does immune tolerance mean in simple language? Immune tolerance or immunological tolerance or immunotolerance is a state of unresponsiveness of the immune system to substances or tissue that have the capacity to elicit an immune response in a given organism. The Th1 cytokine profile is vital for clearance of certain organisms and ancillary immune activity, and limiting effect on this cytokine profile may result in reduced chances for overcoming infections, especially intracellular organisms residing within macrophages. Effective clearance will depend on the appropriate macrophage activation, which occurs through interferon released by Th1 and NK cells, and the production of nitric oxide. If this pathway is disrupted, oh, here it is, okay. If this pathway is disrupted, interferon secretion is blocked, impairing macrophage activation. Persistent blockade of these inhibitory receptors has led to the breakdown of immune cell tolerance, thereby increasing susceptibility to autoimmune or autoinflammatory side effects, including rash, colitis, hepatitis, and endocrinopathies. Many drugs, it's called checkpoint blockade toxicity. Many drugs may cause checkpoint blockade toxicity, including pharmaceutical drugs termed immunotherapy by pharmaceutical companies. These include mAb drugs and cancer treatments. And here it is. Checkpoint inhibitor induced colitis, a new type of inflammatory bowel disease. So this is probably an inadvertent finding. And it was published in 2017. So this was an inadvertent release of a publication, probably, that helped point out the previous dangers I read to you regarding targeting the systemic immune system with injections. Okay. Do you know that the elderly, no, please don't lose my voice. Do you know that the elderly, do you know this forgotten factor that can awaken an elderly immune system? Mammal milk is required for enhanced phagocytosis, as shown by research, especially in the elderly. Whole fat mammal milk can actually restore phagocytosis in senescent cells in the elderly. Phagocytosis, by which immune cells eat bacteria or infected cells, is one of the mechanisms that helps to resist infections. Lactic acid bacteria strains like Acidophilus also increase phagocytosis. So even if you were breastfed, that RNA and DNA protection, it lasts throughout most of your life, but beginning at age 62, their protection begins to decrease. So, okay, food. Do you know that only food can reach the mitochondria? And this goes back to the beginning, where if you didn't have proper gut development, you will not be able to utilize the energy in your food as effectively as you should be doing. So, do you know that only food can reach the mitochondria? A mitochondrion is found in the cells of most eukaryotes, such as animals, plants, and fungi. Mitochondria are membrane-bound cell organelles that generate most of the chemical energy needed to power the cell's biochemical reactions. Chemical energy produced by the mitochondria is stored in a small molecule called adenosine triphosphate, ATP. Okay, so now we're getting on to metabolic health. And I'm sure you don't know because most people don't know. And they are still invested in their labels like ADHD and autism and all of that, autoimmune, all of that. And the cottage industries build up around these labels. And when you attack the foundation or the fundamental assumptions about these, people begin to lose their jobs and they don't like it. So it's now out there that sugar might actually be the cause of ADHD, and I would not be surprised by that because the first time that ADHD, along with other conditions like lupus, did not really show up in any medical literature until around the mid-1800s. And that is when the rubber nipple was invented. And that is when society began to consume more and more amounts of sugar. So, do you know there is no biological need for fructose? So anyway, this is part of what is leading to my interest in helping people with metabolic syndrome. because as I said, that could be a condition. It's still another lifestyle condition, but it's having some very, very, very serious effects in all societies. So do you know there is no biological need for fructose? Sucrose, a disaccharide, is a sugar composed of glucose and fructose subunits. It is produced naturally in plants and is the main constituent of white sugar. Fiber in whole fruit prevents the damaging effects of fructose. So when necessary, the body can produce glucose, and it will do so. So fructose or fruit sugar is a ketonic simple sugar found in many plants, where it is often bonded to glucose to form the disaccharide sucrose. So the fiber helps prevent the damaging effects of fructose. So you should only be eating whole fruit. It is one of the 3 dietary monosaccharides, along with glucose and galactose, that are absorbed by the gut directly into the blood of the portal vein during digestion. So in order to protect yourself, remember no more than 6 teaspoons, 25 grams of added sugar per day for women, and 9 teaspoons, 38 grams for men. The limits for children vary depending on their age and caloric needs, but range between 3 and 6 teaspoons, 12 to 25 grams per day. Children under 2 should have 0 grams of sugar per day. And that is to protect their future health, because your system is still in development. And if your system has a capacity limit, then their capacity limit is naturally going to be much, much lower. So that is the essence of my site, is helping these children, adults, young adults, elderly, anyone with a chronic condition. So all of that is in critical info, and you should know that in some hospitals, formula is no longer allowed to be marketed. And if you want the SIBO recipe for alleviating your SIBO in as little as 2 weeks, you can do that. And you can find out the follow-up in my last video regarding what they're learning about baking soda. And of course, zinc was always a hydrogen sulfide reducer and a bloating reducer. So that was always part of the picture, and that's well known in chemistry, just because of the way it removes, I believe it's an electron, and then the gases just go poof, if I remember correctly how it works. So, okay, everyone, as soon as I come up with a new name, get my developer who has less time than I do to help me save all of my work from this site, I will be moving on to a new chapter. And I am, as I said, I'm sorry to lose the name Alternavita, because it was not on either extreme, not on either side. And my first mission statement is to make sure that everything that enters your system is not going to cause harm. And that has always been my first priority, especially for myself, because I am so prone to medical mishaps and some serious, serious outcomes, because I simply cannot tolerate drugs and that also includes many, many supplements. And so I've just had to be very, very careful my entire life because of all the issues that I just taught you about. So that was just part of my lifestyle. So that's my first mission, is to do no harm to anyone. So, okay, everyone, thank you so much for your time. And I do not know how long this is going to take, but I will try to keep just doing some update posts and general posts and let you know what my plans are. But right now, aside from getting my Amazon associate back, um, I'm not really sure where I'm going beyond that. But thanks so much for your time. I'll see you next time, hopefully. And please like, share, and subscribe to my channel because you can help so many people by doing so. You can lead a horse, you can't make them drink, but you can surely still lead a horse to water. So thanks a lot, everyone. Bye.